Welcome back to Divorce and Black Coffee. If this is your first time here, it's okay, you only missed my introduction video. My name's Michael. I'm a divorce coach and strategist. And last week I promised a video. I was sick, so here it is. We're going to talk about what is mediation. All right, let's dig in. Mediation is a way to see if two parties can come to a legally binding agreement before you proceed to a court trial for a judge to decide what's going to happen in your divorce and child custody. And it may not be exactly what you want. All right. Question I get a lot. Do I have to do mediation? Only if it's ordered by the state. Some states require that you do so. It's a way of them to relieve the backlog of cases of divorce and child custody that sit currently before the state. Their hope is that both parties can come to, a fair and equitable resolution, which in divorce can be challenging, or at least how the parties see it. All right. In some states, a mediator can be an employee of that particular state. And if a state requires mediation, sometimes the state will provide one free of cost, simply because it's a way to, like we said before, cut down on the number of cases in front of any judge or judgeship. Other states, you can hire an independent mediator, and somehow the parties have to come to an agreement on how to take care of the cost. Whether that's splitting, or one says, I'll do it because the other one doesn't have the lack of funds, or however it comes up, the mediator is going to be paid independently, usually by the two parties. All right. This mediation can have ramifications if you're not cautious. You have to do the research on the mediator. If you're doing one that's ordered by the state, you may not have the opportunity to choose the one that's going to mediate your session. If your ex recommends someone, please do your due diligence on them and read reviews and outcomes. You can find them on Google or any search. If your soon-to-be ex's law firm might have an affiliation with the mediator, and sometimes they do, tread cautiously. My suggestion is try to find a neutral one with good reviews. If you can't agree on a mediator, maybe mediation isn't the right for you. As long as the court doesn't require it, because if it requires it and you decide not to attend, that can be held against you, and that is definitely not a space you want to be in. Okay, so once you've agreed on a mediator, a time will be set to see if the parties can come to a resolution. If you can, that would be a win for both parties. Well, you ask how? Well, number one, you're not going to have a single person, a judge, deciding how your life is going to look. The second one is, it's not going to cost you as much. Now, we'll get into hiring an attorney to review your documents in a minute. How mediations are conducted. Okay. Well, they can be done in multiple ways. In person, on the phone, or a lot of times a video conference because it's hard for all the parties to get to the same place. Understand all parties have to be present in a mediation. In some states, attorneys can be present, but it's not as common. It's kind of they want to get the two parties together to see if they can do it without the interjection of attorneys. If in person, something to think about. Where it will take place. Is it going to take place at the courthouse, the lawyer's or the mediator's office, or a mutually agreed place? If this is your option, some states allow you to request 2 independent rooms. You may not be able to do that. Some mediators put all 3 of you in the same room, which can be, let's face it, uncomfortable sitting across from your ex. And also, it could be intimidating. Depends on how the relationship has gone and how much animosity there are between you and your ex. All right. Video conferencing is like a Zoom call. All parties will be present. The mediator will ask a series of questions, usually to one party first, and you'll sit there and it's a good idea to take notes and listen. Then the mediator will go through those same questions with the other party. Now, the mediator might ask if you'd like to add anything. Don't feel like you have to, but if you have a question or clarification, now is your opportunity to do so. And I understand once you get out of mediation, you'll probably sit there and go, oh, I wish I had thought of that. I can ask the question. Okay, it's all right. If you agree to the terms at mediation, the mediator will send out a copy of the terms. Are these binding? The simple answer is no, they're not. Both parties will have to sign off on the terms of the agreement reached. I know, it seems arduous, but you have multiple chances if you don't like how it's going to not agree with the mediation. In that point, can you stop a mediation once it's started? The answer, yes. But do it for a specific reason and not because you don't like the questions. If the other person is berating or abusive or, not letting you finish your answer, interrupting, not following the guidelines set by the mediator can also stop the session as well if they feel it's not going to be productive. And at that point, the mediator will write a recommendation, if the parties can't come to progressing forward, that it needs to be remanded for trial. Now, that's a video for down the road, and we'll help you get there if that's the case. Can you change your mind? The answer is yes, absolutely, at any point until the formal agreement is signed by both parties and presented to the court, and the judge has signed off on it. Only then is it legally binding. I know, again, it's a lot, but it's another route to give you an out if you're not feeling comfortable with it. Can you add or change something in the agreement? Well, the answer is yes, but it would have to be changed in the legal document, and both parties would have to agree and sign off on it and then be presented to the judge and for them to be signed off on it. Then it becomes a legal binding contract. All right, so let's say you made a little bit of progress in the first one. You feel like maybe it could happen. Can you ask for a second mediation? Yes, you can if their mediator feels like there's progress towards a resolution. Oftentimes, the mediator will make a recommendation to the judge and say, we've made progress. I think there's a possibility of a resolution can be reached. Now, that does not mean that it can or it can't. That just means that you're going to get together with your ex and the mediator again and see if you can work things out. Okay. After you're done with mediation, you're going to be tired. But you're also going to have learned a lot about your soon-to-be ex-partner's needs and wants, which can be valuable. And in our second video, the pros, the cons, and the strategies of mediation, we'll go over those. Okay, I'm going to do this. Never sign a court document without reviewing it several times over a period of time. Let's say days or possibly even a week or two. You can't just sit on the document forever. All right. I'm going to give you a very sage piece of advice. Always, 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 always have your attorney review the decree and make sure you understand everything in the document. If you don't have an attorney at this point, hire the best you can afford to review it and explain it in detail. Ask them every mundane thing about it, even if it doesn't seem relevant. Even then, my suggestion is, let's say they say it's all okay, and you understand it all. Even then, my suggestion is to sit with it at least 24 hours before signing it. I understand. You want to get this done and move on, and that's when mistakes can happen. You may think of another question for your attorney, or you may decide it's not right after all, and that's okay. Why do you want to, think about this and review this? Okay, here's a really important thing I need you to understand. Why? This is a life-altering document for you, but also if you have children, for them as well. It's going to be how their time's divided, how vacations are going to be split up, who's going to do school, how things are going to be paid for, sporting, all kinds of things. I understand. Trust me. It's a huge endeavor, and it is life-altering. Give it the time and the complete understanding it deserves. Because if you do that, whatever your choice is, it will give you a sense of peace. Now, my next video is going to be about the positives and the negatives and the strategies of mediation. Who knew that mediation could be a two-part series? I'm going to say, I'm really grateful you're here. Please share this content with a friend or family member who you think could find this valuable. I really would appreciate it. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, or add a comment below of what you're struggling with, or what you could use insights about. I'm here to help get the word out so that you can find that peace and calm that we talked about as you go through the process. It's not going to be easy, and you're going to have sleepless nights, and you're going to have anxious moments, and you're going to feel butterflies in your stomach and your chest. But hopefully, the information that I'm giving you can help you quell that anxiety, to help understand the process, to understand where it's really important to worry and where you can kind of pull back and say, okay, this is what I need to do. Anyway, I'm really grateful you're here. And until our next conversation.